prospects to attend historically black universities when selecting schools to play at. Melo said, quote, all it takes is one person to change history. It changes college sports because you have a young black kid who is at the top of his game who decided to go to a black university. Shannon, do you agree with Melo here?
I mean, it definitely would help, Skip. If you get something, can you imagine if guys like, say, Anthony Davis or LeBron James coming out or Carmelo when they came out had gone to historically black institutions? It would definitely change. Because, Skip, before they integrated, that's where, if you look at the first group of Hall of Famers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, that's where they went. They went to the Maryland Eastern Shores and the Gramblers and the Southern, Texas A&M's, Alabama A&M and Florida A&M and all those Texas Southern.
Well,
that's
obviously, Jerry Rice, Mississippi Valley State.
Right?
Alcorn
State.
Walter Payton, Jackson State, right? Steve McNair, Alcorn State. Right?
Yeah. So a lot of these guys went there. Skip, I remember after my sophomore season, I was an All-American. I was player of the conference player of the year. I was offensive player of the year. I was going to transfer to the University of Miami. And I was like, and Coach Davis sat me down and said, son, why you want to transfer? I'm like, Coach, I want to play.
Coach Davis, Miami, Butch Davis.
No.
Oh,
Bill Davis was my coach.
Oh, you're coach. Okay, I got it.
If I'm not mistaken, what you call him was still there? Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy was still there.
Jimmy was still there. Yeah.
Were they recruiting you?
Yeah. Okay. I was going to transfer to the University of Miami and talk to the recruit and everything. And he sat me down. He said, well, I said, Coach, I want to play in front of 75,000, Coach. And plus, I want to go to the NFL. Ain't nobody going to see me here at Savannah State. He looked me dead in my eye. He said, son, you good enough? They'll find you. I walked out of his office and never looked back.
Really?
Yep.
No regrets?
No regrets. One of the greatest decisions I ever made because I got with people that taught me my history, and helped me have a better understanding of what my history and what blacks had done in America. Skip,
but is it possible you might have been a second-round pick out of the U?
No question.
Maybe?
No question.
First-round pick? I don't know.
I'd have been a first-round pick.
Okay.
No question about it.
And you win the 7th round out of Savannah State.
Out of Savannah State. Because the talent was still the talent.
Yep.
Skip, it would definitely help. Now, this is 2023. He's a number 3 prospect. That's a long ways away. He's feeling that way right now because of the climate that's going on.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see how he feels.
This is the kid, Carmelo.
Yes,
is hoping,
Mikey Williams.
Yes, we'll choose a historical black college.
Right.
Okay.
Especially after hearing what's been going on with some of these institutions, Skip, and how they've treated some of their... Because what happens, Skip, is that a lot of these guys that's coming out, they're speaking about these colleges and how their preferential treatment and some racist things were said, it gets shot down because they're not superstars. Oh, he didn't pan out. Oh, he was a bench warmer. So they discredit him.
Yep.
All it's going to take is one of these superstars to say, yeah, I heard that also. Yeah, they treated them differently. Obviously, I'm a superstar. I didn't get treated like that. But I've heard a lot of guys in the past couple of days reach out and said, well, Shannon, what you don't understand, if I were to come out and say something, that fan base is going to come and, I won't be able to go back there. I was like, hey, bro, you got to do what's in your heart, what's in your conscience. So if that's what you feel, that's what you feel. But for me, Skip, I do believe it would definitely help. It would change how these big institutions, because Skip, they've had a monopoly on these guys. And, I just think that if they were to do that, and Melo is absolutely right, it just takes one. It's just like when the SEC opened up, when USC came down there and they beat the brakes off Alabama, Skip, Bear Bryant said, go get me some of them.
He did.
And he went and got them, and everybody started having them. So kudos, but I hope it happens. Get like the top 10 go to historically black institutions.
Okay. So a little more context, wider into entertainment, Oprah, Tennessee State, Samuel L. and Spike Lee, Morehouse, right?
Yep.
2 Chainz, Alabama State.
Yep.
I could go on and on, just for more context. So the first concern I had when I first saw this headline was, I experienced in high school integration. It's great.
Right.
It was so needed at that point in the 60s in this country. Let's integrate so that we can communicate a little bit better.
Right.
Has it changed life? No, it has not changed life. But it was a positive step, I still believe. So now you're talking about segregating again, right? Like you're saying, no.
Just a few, just a handful of them, so they would get an understanding of how to treat. Because, Skip, I think when you just have a free run on players,
Yep.
you're like, oh, well, they're going to come here regardless. If they don't go to me, they're going to go to Duke. If they don't go to Duke, they're going to go to Kansas, Kentucky. So
I got it.
You're in that cycle.
Okay. So back to my background. 1976, I was out here in L.A. working at the L.A. Times, and I asked if I could go to a little school called Grambling, in Grambling, Louisiana, and do a story on a quarterback by the name of Doug Williams, because I was getting the vibrations that he just might go first in that draft that year. And they said, okay, and that was back in the days when newspapers operated more like magazines, and so they could give me a week to go to Grambling.
Right.
Because they knew I would come back with something, because I sold them. I said, this is a very special story that's happening. So I went, I met the great Coach Rob, as they called him, Eddie Robinson. And again, for those who don't know, he's one of the greatest coaches ever, if not at the top of the list.
Yeah, he put a lot of guys in the NFL, a lot of guys in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
One of the most decent humans I've ever run across was Coach Rob. So I spent a whole week on that campus with Doug, hanging out in his dormitory, and I got to experience a very different school spirit, because the pride I felt on that little campus was extraordinary, because it was underdog pride. It was us against the world pride. I had recently graduated from Vanderbilt, and there is, I'll be the first to admit, a little bit of an elitist pride, more of a we are the world kind of pride, right, at Vanderbilt. And it's hard to get into, so you get it, but it's just such a different campus vibe. There's an arrogance at Vanderbilt that I did not experience, obviously, at Little Grambling. So Coach Rob, the last day I was there, said, I want you to speak to our team. And I'm like, I can't speak. I'm 24, you know, what do I know?
What am I going to say?
Yeah, what am I going to say to your team? I'm barely older than they are for most of them. And he said, I don't care what you say. Just tell them how you got where you are. How did it happen? So I tried, and it was probably pretty awkward what I told them, but I tried. And there was a kid that I got to know a little later named Everson Walls, who came from nowhere in Dallas after being raised in Dallas to become a star for the Dallas Cowboys, undrafted out of Grambling. And I had many more conversations with him.
He led the league in interceptions as a rookie with 10.
Rookie, in part because they were throwing at him like crazy. And he was catching it like crazy. Because they said, that guy can't run. But he can catch.
I talk to Everson.
He is one of my all-time favorites. So I got to experience what goes on at an historically black college, and it is a very special experience. So I certainly, I can't criticize this, because I get it.
It's a different vibe.
It can be an experience. Obviously, Carmelo went to Syracuse. It's a huge school. It has a black population. I don't know what the population would be. Would it be 15 or 20%? I have no idea. No idea. Maybe not. I don't even know. But again, would Carmelo trade that experience? They won a national championship when he was a freshman. Would he trade it for having gone to wherever, you know, one of the historically black colleges, Grambling, wherever else? I don't know. Maybe not, but I get it. So you think this would be a very positive step?
Oh, it would be a big step. It would definitely change the way the recruiting process and how they treat the because right now, Skip, they feel like if you're number one, if I don't get you, Skip, it's like he's got to go here. And so, Skip, if I know I'm going to get one, I might not get them all. If I'm going to get one, I can still treat you a certain type of way. I still can say certain type of things to you. And I remember, Skip, my brother used to come. My brother was in the league at the time, and he would come to Savannah State and hang out with me, stay at the hotel and then come back. And he was just in awe how we did things. Everybody was dressed. It wasn't no sweats wearing. No, we had Stars jeans. We had shirt and tie going to class. We had briefcases. He's like, y'all wake up and do this every morning. We're playing cards in the student center. We're playing spades. We're playing ping pong. We shooting pool. He's like, man, this is cool. Man, I wish I could experience something like this because it's a totally different vibe.
And I would be remiss if I did not point out the greatest marching bands in the history of this country,
we
right?
do that thing. We do that
well,
thing.
Come on.
We do it.
And you recruit to that.
Yes.
Like that's a huge thing to get chosen to be in the Grambling band or
Southern and FAMU, Grambling. Tennessee State, they known for band. Our band, Savannah State, we call them the Dirty 30. We ain't having our 30 members.
I never heard of that.
Oh, man, they come with that thing, them girls be stepping.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, man, that was good.
So they in bands they were ranked like in the top.
I don't know we were ranked,
50
but they
or
were
something.
good. Hey, but they had the baddest player on the field, though.
they?
Grambling, they have nothing. They touch your old number 2.
Did you ever play Grambling?
No,
No,
we didn't play
okay.
Grambling. No, we play Grambling. We are, who we play? We played Morehouse, beat
Okay.
them 70-13, beat Fort
70-13?
70-13, beat the brakes off them. We played Fort Valley when they had Eddie Anderson and Greg Lloyd.
Yeah.
They beat us.
They did.
Yep, they did. We played A&M. We played a couple of skills, but they couldn't do that with me, though.
No.
They couldn't do that with me.
Well, you did go in the 7th round.
I
so
did.
I love Savannah State's story. Picturing Shannon walking around campus feeling all good about
Oh,
himself.
yeah, busted a spade.
Yeah,
Fat book.
nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. The confidence has carried over. Guys, Malcolm Jenkins has a plan for how the league can move forward. We will discuss the latest after the